Talking Dicks Comedy Podcast Special Edition just for our members, the Patreon members. We appreciate your support. I'm Al Ducharme, and I'm on a cruise ship in the middle of the Caribbean. And Al Romas is on a cruise ship in the middle of the Caribbean.
What are the odds? What are the odds? Yes. Yes, I'm on the Wonder of the Seas, and we're at sea today. And then we go to Coco Cay tomorrow and back in Fort Lauderdale Friday, where I believe you will also be in Fort Lauderdale on Friday.
That is true. Our plan is to get together and do a live podcast, smoke a cigar, maybe have lunch. We're definitely having breakfast. We're gonna go to Joe's Cafe, right there next to Publix, if you're familiar, in Fort Lauderdale, right next to the entrance to Port Everglades, where both ships will be parked about a few terminals away from one another. And we usually get hookers, but because we're podcasting, we're going to skip that. Publix,
we'll get hookers because we can BOGO. Buy one, get one. So you'll get the free one. I'll get the one I pay for, and we'll have some fun.
Wait a minute. The free one is always a skank.
Well, no, yeah, but she's grateful. She's usually grateful. So she'll give you a little extra. You know what I mean? The BOGO hooker.
Yeah, the BOGO bag lady hooker.
The BOGO bag lady hooker. Yes.
Well, anywho, we do want to extend our appreciation once again, and we plan on making another Two Dicks Detectives episode, 1950s Two Dicks, this coming May in Las Vegas. We've been hammering out our script. Al and I, sometimes what we do is we each come up with ideas, and then we throw them at one another through emails, and then we try to marry them.
Yeah, that's horrible. What are you doing? You're an idiot. This isn't funny.
It's worked in the past. It's our method. Because I think sometimes when... go ahead.
Mm-hmm. No, I think it would be interesting if we ever did do one of those, show the video, complete Two Dicks, the episode, and then under it, sometimes they show the script. And if we showed what the original script was and then the episode, it would be about 80% just fucking ad-libbed. And there's like 10 or 20% of the germ of the idea. But the rest of it is all it's all horse shit. We just go with it when we get there. And so that
usually cool. Takes on
those things though, where they show the script and then they show the actor what he stayed with and what he changed. But ours they'd be completely different, But it'll be fun. It'll be, but God, I mean, when was the first Two Dicks episode? 3 years ago, at least. Oasis or Allure of the Seas. 3+ years ago. So to be still doing one after all these years, and we kind of look the same, I think. Well, we haven't aged horribly. Some guys in this business, 3 years you go forget it. We can't go back and do this again. We look fucking horrible and different, So. We've relatively stayed the same.
I've gained 8 pounds. You've lost 30.
Well, now I think I'm down to like 24. I think I put on another. I put on 6. I think I put on 6. Yeah.
I put on 12 and I lost 4. And my doctor said that I said, I'm trying to get rid of that extra 8 pounds. And he said, if you're 10 pounds overweight, if you experience a catastrophic illness or injury, you have a better chance of survival than somebody who's normal weight. If that's not an incentive to pig out.
Well, that was interesting. I was watching a podcast last night. It was Mark Norman and Sam Morrell. They have a podcast called We Might Be Drunk. And they had Bert Kreischer on. 3-hour podcast, by the way, with Bert Kreischer. Woo! 3 hour.
That's a lot of Bert.
And they have a bartender. They have a studio and a bartender in there, and they're making drinks. And anyway, but Mark had the same thought to Bert. He said, I think if you were thinner and in shape, you might be dead now. He goes, what do you mean? He goes, I think the fat is keeping you alive. It's absorbing all the booze and helping you. He goes, if you were a thin in shape guy drinking like that, you'd be dead. You couldn't handle those hangovers. You know what I mean? Where the fat is helping you. And he kind of agreed with it. He's like, I think you're right.
I don't know about that. I'm going to stick with my doctor by saying, if you're a little overweight, Yes, Dr. Vinny Gubats. Listen, bend
You know my
over. I
doctor,
gotta
Dr.
show you my
Vinny Gubats.
cannoli. Oh,
Hey.
oh.
It hurts when I touch this. He said, don't touch it.
Don't touch it. Touch this. All right. Don't worry about it. It's in your copay.
Uh-huh. What ship are you on, by the way? What ship are you on, by the way?
This is the Silhouette, Celebrity Silhouette. I love this vessel. And actually, you know what? Right now, I actually bumped up to the Wi-Fi high speed, and it's working well. I just didn't feel like dropping 200 and something bucks for the entire cruise because I'm a cheap fuck.
I guess so.
Well, they give me free basic, so I can text, email, I can upload a picture. It takes about 12 minutes.
Right.
But trying to upload video files, whatever, forget it.
Porn is what you're saying, sir. Porn. You're saying porn.
I started making my own
roundabout
porn.
way.
What I do.
You can't look at porn on the basic, but you need the better Wi-Fi for the pornography. I get it. I understand what you're saying.
No,
I got the high
started making
speed
my
here.
own porn.
I got the high speed here, but it's only to watch Game of Thrones and take gummies. That's my day. That's what I do. I take gummies. I watch Game of Thrones. That's the day.
Can I tell you about my? Yeah, I know. That's pretty good, man. Can I tell you about my?
Not a bad day. What do you think of it? What's that?
I make my own porns.
Oh yeah, I was trying to get away from the. Go ahead.
I know. I noticed that. No. This is for the Patreon members. So you're right. I'm going to stop.
No, let's hear it. Let's hear you make your own porn, and let's hear that.
I make my own porns. I blur out my face, and I play both parts.
Not porns.
Porn. You're right. It's like deer and deers. It's just deer.
Yes.
As in reindeer.
Right.
I think we have a half-second delay.
We do.
Oh, all right.
We do. That's why I was stepping on you a little in the beginning because I was like I thought it was crystal clear, and then I realized it's not. Yeah, it's about a second.
Yeah.
And then there we go. Hey, that pillow behind you. I have the exact same pillow. Let's see.
Oh,
it
wow.
looks like this company must have sold them to the cruise industry. You got the same. There it is, right?
I got the blue one. Yeah.
This is blue. This is blue, baby. There you go.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
It says property of Royal Caribbean's Wonder of the Seas. Oh, I took this with me when I was on the Wonder.
We've done
what?
11 shows this week so far. And that
who
sounds like a lot.
With?
I'm with Simeon Kirklees, the great Simeon Kirklees. And
Simeon.
Yeah, he is a killer. And I go 11 shows sounds like a lot, but then I remember back in the day when we started and we did 2 dicks.
17.
That's right, kid. 17 shows in a week.
They knocked it down to 16. That 17 didn't last long. That was ridiculous. We had 3 nights where we did 3 shows a night. I
think at this moment, Allure is still doing that. I think that's what I heard. They're doing either 16 or 17. Multiple 3-show nights. Multiple. Yeah.
And then when I was on another ship, I don't remember which one it was, they did 14, and it was a breath of fresh air. 2 a night.
Right. And we're doing, that's what we're doing here. It feels like it's good. Yeah.
I stand corrected. It was first night you had off, and then you had 2 nights where it was 3 shows, and then the rest were two shows a night. But it's, I don't know. I know you like it. You do. That's what you do mostly. I kind of like 4 or 5 shows in a week is kind of, I like that, because I'm doing full shows. I'm doing 45, 50 minutes in the theater.
That's different thing. Completely. I'm doing 20, 25 in the club every night, but I did a welcome show clean in the theater. And then Thursday night, we're off tonight. Tomorrow night, we do 1 show, adult in the theater, but a different show than we've done all week. So, so really you're doing a full show. It just chopped up into 3 segments during the week. And, but it's been good. It's been really good. And then I do 1 more week. And then it's home and back to Fort Lauderdale the following week for Crack Up Cancer. If you're listening and you're watching, well, not listening, you're watching on the Patreon. Thank you for being here. Come on out to Fort Lauderdale. I think there's a couple of Patreon members in the Fort Lauderdale area. We're going to be at the Savour
And this will
Cinema.
not Savour Cinema.
Savour
we will,
Truffle.
we will be, yes, again, this is not going to be on any podcast platform. This is just video for our Patreon supporters. And thank you again.
Exactly.
We got to keep mentioning
Thank you.
every 3.5 minutes.
Thank you for being a friend. Simeon sang that last night on stage. There were 4 white hair ladies up front, and he just went into the full goal, and he sang like the whole song. And the crowd sang with him.
Yeah,
they sang with him.
Yeah, of course.
It was unbelievable.
Of course.
Oh, thank God I opened.
I've done the one
though,
line.
So I opened that one, so I was just watching and enjoying it. I didn't have to go up after him, and it was fun to just be like, all right, I'm done. And now he's doing his weird thing, and sang the entire song. And the crowd, it was like a gospel crowd. They were all like clapping and singing, and yeah, it's great.
And of course, Simeon knew all the lyrics. I've spoken the first line to a bunch of women in the front row that were clearly like 75, 80.
Hitting on
I go,
them.
thank you for being a friend. And I hit on them. And they're rich. So
yeah. Well, the old broads, they'll put out. They'll give it to you because, it's been a while. And what was I going to say? I've never, that was the thing. I never saw the show. I've never seen one episode of Golden Girls.
You've seen a snippet, like you walking through a room, it's playing.
I mean, yes.
And there's a woman. And there's a woman talking like this. The author.
Yeah. I never I don't know. I think it was the years I was like in the Navy or starting comedy. So I never saw it on TV. And then the reruns and all, it just kind of, I never got into, 4 old bags in Florida sitting on a lanai bitching about not getting laid or something. I was like, give a fuck about that show.
That was you last year.
Huge hit. So. Huge hit. Hey, wait a second. that hits home. that
monster.
Was
that was a monster hit. That was me. Hold on a second. Maybe a few years younger, but you get
there. That was me. No, that was probably exactly these people are always they're always younger than you think. It's like I saw a picture from Cheers. And Coach, when the pilot aired, the coach was 56 years old. The guy
Can you imagine
he was 85. He looked like he was 85.
Why is that now?
He was 56.
I saw pictures of my parents when they were in their 30s, and they look like they were in their 50s. Black and white, or like Polaroid, and
times were hard.
Glasses.
Times were tough. Things they didn't have.
It wasn't even like they had like young skin. It wasn't even like they look younger than they did, obviously, but they didn't have like young skin. It was just like, they came from that World War II generation.
Remember that Norm joke with he goes, my grandfather, there was one picture of my grandfather. He was like, because he was talking about everyone's got a million pictures. One picture. And he was like, I got to get back to milking them cows.
My father, you ever see those old black and white pictures? They were actually portraits.
Of your father?
Everybody looks like my father, but that's a different subject. You ever see the old pictures of people from the 20s and the 30s? It's a portrait. And it's like the family, they all look like they're basically in a coffin, but their eyes are open.
Yes.
Dead face.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so spooky.
They have that.
Rarely
the photographer came and that thing explodes and that's the light, and the kids are in these uncomfortable clothes and it's probably 100 degrees in their living room and they've worked all day on the farm. And we're going to pose for a family photo. You get one shot at it too. Cause it's like, that's it. They can't afford another shot. So you got to make it work.
It's very expensive.
But
you got to put that gunpowder back in that little metal thing with the handle on it. And they would have funerals in their living room. They'd have wakes.
God, with the body and
the thing, and then they go eat. Well, the body, they go eat in the next room, which is connected to the living room, the dining room, and they'd eat.
Right.
While this body, grandpa's.
These were tough people. These were tough people, man.
They were. And if things were really, really tough, like during the Depression, they actually ate part of the corpse to stay alive.
I don't know if that's true, but for when we're in Vegas in May. There's a place in Vegas where we can go and eat sushi off a naked chick. On a naked girl lays on the table, and they put sushi all over her body, and we can eat the sushi off her naked body. Now, the problem.
Are we going to bring the chicks with us? We're bringing
well,
our
that's
chicks
the
with
problem.
us.
That's the problem right there. Yeah, we're bringing women with us, and I don't know if it's as much fun with ladies, but maybe they'd be into it. I don't know.
Bernadette will do it for the comedy element because she is a comedian. So maybe we can talk Kelly into doing it.
Oh, she'll do it.
Research.
She goes both ways. No, I'm kidding. So she's a Patreon member. I forgot.
Oh, you idiots! You're in the doghouse. Woo, 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 woo.
It's a compliment. It's a compliment. Both ways is.
It's a compliment to say my
compliment. That's right. But no, it's a
sushi.
She'd be a good
sushi for dos.
What I meant was she's a good sport. She would enjoy having some sushi off a young lady. Although I don't even know if that was a pre-COVID thing. Probably gone now when you think of everything. Even though we're not using masks, everything. The idea of eating food off a body is probably done. I think that might not come back after COVID, at least in the U.S.
You just ruined my entire afternoon. You ruined my entire afternoon.
Sorry, man. Sorry, dude.
All right.
Apologize. All right. I think we're a little frozen. You froze up a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a little wanky, but it's working. It's working. Yeah. You look like my puppy. You look like my puppy. I FaceTime with this.
You posted it. Yeah.
You got a puppy.
Stick a fork in you. Who's watching your puppy now?
What do you mean who's watching my puppy?
Who's what? I want to hear you
Kelly.
say it.
Kelly, my girlfriend.
Kelly who?
My girlfriend.
That was a live one for our Patreon members. That's why.
There you go.
Get that in there.
But when at night I FaceTime with her and she'll put the puppy up, and that's what it looks like. I just see she's trying to bite the phone. And, Good boy.
How old is the puppy?
Yeah. He's about 13 weeks, so 3 months. Yeah.
You're gonna get his nuts cut off?
Oh, God damn it. We took him to the vet 2 weeks ago, and because he's got this high pitched little bark, it's and I go, I was asking about that, and then they go, well, he's only had one testicle has dropped, the other one hasn't dropped yet. He's only got one available, one gonna come out. So yeah, I feel bad for the poor bastard.
Only on Patreon. Only on
that's right. Only on Patreon. we wouldn't bore our regular listeners with this. So it's only for you guys who pay. Thank you.
You get what you pay for.
That's
now if you're paying $100 a month, different story.
Oh, we'd be naked. We'll do this nude for you. But for you $5 fuckers, you get this, and that's it. We'll talk to my puppy, and then we move on.
So are you gonna leave them intact? What's the deal?
No, we gonna have to do it. You got to do it. I mean, I don't want him trying to hump everybody in the neighborhood. He's a little guy, but he's gonna probably double, so it'll be about maybe 15 pounds. And hey, you can't have that. You can't have a rapist in the neighborhood. I don't want that. So we're probably gonna. Did I tell you once a woman got mad at me because I had a joke in my act years and years ago where I said I have a dog, and people go, "What kind of dog is it?" I go, "Oh, no, it's a mutt." I go, mutts are basically the product of a rape. And after the show, a woman goes, "I don't know why you'd use the word rape." And this is before all the bullshit we go through now with triggering. Woke. This is like the 90s, and this woman was woke even then. She was like, "I don't know why you have to use the word rape. It's not funny. It's very offensive to me." And people, I'm like, "Oh, geez, I didn't even think of it." I go, "That's a mutt." I mean, I don't. Now it's funny, you pay for a mutt. You know what I mean? Like these special, like my dog is a cockapoo. So it's a cocker spaniel and a poodle. But when we were young, that was a mutt. Now you got to pay for this. It's expensive. You know what I mean? But it doesn't.
It's a breeder
He doesn't
thing.
shed. He doesn't shed though, which is a big plus.
That's huge. What about dander? Pet dander, is that still an issue, or is the shedding completely stopped that, or how does it work?
I think it's involved with the no shedding. I don't think there's dander issues. So yeah, that's why you're paying. It's cute. I mean, it's cute as hell, but I've never had a dog other than a rescue dog, and they shed and all that. And I didn't think it was a big deal, but she was like, no, I don't want a shedding dog. And then we got them. And now it's great to just hold the dog and put them down and then
it's
realize
not covered.
there's no fur on my shirt. It's quite a plus. So
you can also shellac them. You can coat them in polyurethane. If you have an animal that sheds, you just spray them. It's Rust-Oleum polyurethane.
Life hacks with Al Ducharme. That's that could be a web series. Maybe we could do. You just spray a dog with polyurethane and probably never shed again. In the last 2 minutes of his life. So yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't do it daily. I'd do it like once every couple of weeks.
Okay. Yeah.
Because you don't want to kill the dog. You don't want to kill the animal.
No, but you want it to have a nice finish. A nice,
yes.
A nice finish.
Reflective. Yeah. That way they use Pledge to clean them rather than taking them to the, the
that's
groomer.
one of those, they say sense of smell is the biggest memory. It makes your memories. That lemon Pledge, that fucking smell brings me. I'm a little kid in my living room, and my mother, that the coffee table and all the end tables. That was fucking lemon Pledge, man. That smell, when I get it right away, I'm like, I'm 9 years old and I'm back home and I'm ready to masturbate. You know what I mean? I'm like 9 again or 11, whatever that. Well, that was a mistake.
Second ball drops.
That was a
second ball
that was a mistake.
Second reference. That was a mistake.
When my third nut dropped, that was really weird. And then I had to I had questions
Triple
for them.
Threat.
They didn't want to talk about it. These were different days. You didn't talk to your parents about
that was
things,
when you were traveling with the circus, wasn't it? I think it was.
Well, those were good. Those were good years. Those were good years.
The Pledge. They had the big
of allegiance
on television. The spray, the furniture spray you were just talking about.
Yeah.
It was a huge marketing campaign. I think they even had the mother from the Brady Bunch, Florence Henderson, do it.
She sang a song.
It was huge. She sang a song. And then glass tables came out in the 80s and fucking killed 30% of Pledge.
Yeah, your Windex. I know. The Pledges. Because I remember exactly what you're saying. And I remember either my mom or me or somebody doing lemon Pledge on the glass table and then just smearing it. And it's like, what are you doing? That's doesn't work. And you got to go into Windex. Now we got Windex.
Gotta get the Windex.
Yeah.
Johnson & Johnson. I think they bought.
Speaking of glass,
Windex.
you know who was the biggest buyer of those glass coffee tables? You know who enjoyed it the most? You know him.
Cocaine.
You love him. Nope. Danny Thomas.
Really?
Danny
Explain.
Thomas.
I don't understand the connection there.
Danny Thomas, Mike Room for
I'm a little
Daddy.
younger than you.
Marlo Thomas's father. He
that girl.
You know the stories. His thing, he was Lebanese. I don't know if it's a Lebanese thing or not. But anyway, he liked to get hookers, and he would lay under the glass on the table, and they would sit on the glass and take a big shit. And then he would watch the shit come out from under the glass. And that was Danny Thomas. That was Vegas. He was known for that. He would do a couple shows and hire hookers, and he wouldn't fuck them. They would just shit on the glass table as he laid under it watching. Yeah, that's a fact.
We just lost how many members did we just lose just now for that story?
Or gained.
Maybe sorry, we gained. I thought you were going to tell me he had this huge collection of glass tables and he would paint on
what
them.
Do you mean? You don't know the
Danny
Thomas story?
I don't know. That's not my thing, man. That's your thing.
How do you? I thought you were in. I thought you were in show business. I thought you were in comedy. That story, I've heard that by my first open mic night. For God's sake,
that's a classic. Comedy. That's a.
He was a comedian. Danny Thomas. He was a stand-up.
I understand that part
as an actor, and then that was his fetish. So everyone knows the Danny Thomas glass table story. Everyone in my.
I only know his daughter. I'm friends with Marlo on Facebook, and she.
That girl.
Yeah, that girl. About 15 years ago, she sent me a little thing saying, "You're very funny," because we did a fundraiser together.
Right.
I know people. Isn't she like 90 now?
At least. Well, she's married to Phil Donahue, who I think is still alive. I'm not sure. I believe he is. Yeah. What's happening? I don't know what you. Oh, the microphone.
I'm sticking the microphone in your face.
That was Phil's thing, right? And we'll be back.
Yeah.
Right after this. Yeah.
Yes, and he would work that crowd. He'd go right into the crowd and ask them questions. He was.
Yeah.
Do you remember when they had the campaign? They were moving the show from Chicago to New York.
No.
And he was NBC, and Letterman had him on, and they would do the big countdown of how many days before Phil Donahue came to New York City, and they have the calendar, and they mark it off. They put calendars on the side of buildings. They drop watermelons out of the windows from 30 floors. That was so funny, man.
That was
great. Love that whole campaign.
Yeah, and then Bill Murray was on, and he was talking about how Phil Donahue was banging his grandmother. And he's like, I don't like the guy. And Letterman's like, what's my? He goes, I don't like him. He's sleeping with my grandmother. And Letterman's like, is that true? He goes, I don't know. I think it's true. He goes, I think it's true.
Bill Murray's are my favorite. His appearances when he shows up on Letterman. Go on YouTube and look at
still
Bill
do
Murray.
that.
It's fucking hysterical. He commits to
you go down
skit.
That rabbit hole, though. If you do that, you'll just be there all night. Because it's so dry and deadpan-y and just hilarious. And then they have ones where early Letterman, where they're taking questions from the audience for Bill, and the audience members are like Chris Elliott and that kind of these writers who are.
All
and then
plants,
Chris comes out of the man under the stairs, and he asks a question, and I mean it's just so great. And you got to go. That was nice. You look at it also in this context of that's 1985, 80. Like we never saw anything like that. You and I were young watching Johnny Carson, very old school. He's interviewing Buddy Hackett. They're telling showbiz stories. But then our guy is Letterman, and then he's got like Bill Murray and Chris Elliott. That was a whole new world.
Breaking the fourth wall, the crowd,
great.
Really working it. I mean, Carson would occasionally go in the crowd with his cue cards and do that. But
it was
they were more sketchy, whereas this was, I mean, Letterman can be scripted too, but there's always the moment where they're off script, and it's the absurdity of it. I love the absurdity, humor, and all that stuff.
Well, Johnny knew those people had been picked. Johnny knew, they were lines already. He didn't. Not everything was scripted, but he knew like. I'm going to talk to this guy's name's Al. What is it? He's from, he wears a hat. He's from Rhode Island. Okay, great. Thank you. Where Letterman, it was just ad-libbing. And Johnny would never put his writers in the audience and make them part of the show. Meaning, it was
Johnny.
Yeah.
It was Johnny.
Yeah. That was it.
So
he was even, remember the Mighty Carson Art Players? And there was one guy. It was Carson. He was it.
That's a funny joke, though. That's a funny joke.
He was the Carson Art Players.
Would sometimes ask him questions like he did.
And he'd have that blonde chick with massive jugs. I forget her name. You remember her? I don't know what that is. But
she played the dumb blonde.
Yeah,
the ditzy blonde.
I forget her name, but she was in and then I read his book, or his lawyer wrote a book about Carson after Carson died. And Carson was banging that chick. That's why she was on the show. But he was married too. He was married at the time.
He's married like 5 times.
That's true. Yeah.
He's sitting on $80 million. He can afford 5 wives and have little chickies in between. Why wouldn't you? I would.
Well, but he was married.
It's the poor guys that do it that are idiots. The poor guy can't afford to be doing all that shit.
No, I got to get rid of these girlfriends. I can't afford it. Honestly, it's too much. It's too much, sir. I got a puppy now to take care of.
We're really giving them quite the video today, are we not?
Yeah, there's some good bonus content because we appreciate these people who hang in there with us and every month, and it's nice. And maybe know your friends, tell your friends, join us here on the Patreon. If you know people and you have family and you want to tell them, we'll join us. And we do video every Monday, new show, every Friday, a classic. And then we'll do other stuff too. When I do Crack Up Cancer on the 23rd of April, I'm going to be filming a lot of that and putting it on the Patreon. It's a good show, really funny comedians, and it should be a cool. We're selling tickets too. Tickets are moving now very well. So we're going to interview Mark, the founder of it, and he'll be on. We'll just release that next week, and that's it. Thank you. Thanks everybody.
Thanks a lot.
And
Thanks a lot for your support. We really appreciate it.
see ya.